All right. Big day, big day. Let's go. Got a lot of news, a lot of new stuff to share and discuss. Just gonna wait a second before I begin here. It's crazy that this is still going. Big news, big news, big news. A good way to start our stream with some movie news. I think movie news that I think a lot of us want to hear. But we'll wait. Put this on threads as well. I don't even use threads, but might as well post on there. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys didn't already know, the Oscar nominations were this morning. And it does look like Sinners has made Oscar history being the most nominated film of all time, which is insane. I think the previous film that had the most nominations was La La Land. I think that was Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling, like what, 2017, 18, probably around there. That was the most nominated film previously with 14. Crazy enough, One Battle After Another is like the second most nominated film this year, and it has 14 as well. So I'm very glad that Sinners was able to make history. But I actually put on my story, I said that me personally, nominations don't mean anything if you're afraid to reward them in the rightful categories, right? Like, don't get your hopes too high just because it has 16 nominations. I actually want to see them win, right? And the Oscars and Academy are notorious for doing stuff like that. So I hope that it can snag some like really important awards, but some of like the technical ones like production and makeup, costume design, all that type of stuff, they'll probably win those, and that's what we expect. But we want some of the heavy hitters, and we're gonna go through the nominations that Sinners has real quick before we move on to our second discussion about Drake, which we got more stuff to talk about him. But here to start says that Sinners breaks the record for the most nominated film in Oscars history, and essentially has 16 different nominations. To begin, actress in a supporting role, we have Elle Fanning from Sentimental Value. Indra, I don't know how to say her name. Apologies, I'm so sorry. I don't want to butcher it. She's also in Sentimental Value. Amy Madigan in Weapons. You know, I liked Weapons. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think it was like super crazy though, but like it was good. Like I think it was a well-made movie, but like the ending kind of threw me off. I knew that was like something a lot of people did like, but I was like, we'll see, whatever. And then Wumi Masuka for Sinners. I think she deserves this. To be honest, I'm glad that she actually got an Academy nomination for her portrayal in the film because I mean, if it wasn't for her, they would have all died. They wouldn't have made it, right? So we got to give it to her. I just love how they were able to make her character so important to what was going on and how she had knowledge of everything sinister and how to combat that. And at the same time, I love that none of the other questions like question her, right? That's why I love black movies because when you start putting black people in horror, like once you hear the one person that knows what they're talking about, we're not saying nothing. It's not going to be like, oh, but that can't be true. You're out of your mind. Like, there's not going to be none of that. They accepted it right away. So I'm glad. And I hope that she can snag this one. And we also have Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another, which is a movie I thought was a well-made movie, but like storyline wise, I did not like at all. And to be honest with you, I know there's probably a lot of controversial takes on her character. I didn't really like her character, to be honest. She's in the first 30 or 40 minutes of the movie. Give this to Wumney, to be honest. She just killed her role. And they may have had similar screen time on film, but Wumney Masuka, she just like took the role and transformed it and actually performed her character, added some grace to it. And Tiana Taylor, that's a whole nother discussion. That might have to be a video in itself, but very good for actress in a supporting role. Hopefully they can snag that. We got next up makeup and hairstyling. We got Frankenstein, Kokuho. Not sure what that is. We have Sinners, The Smashing Machine with The Rock and Emily Blunt. I actually like that movie. And The Ugly Stepsister. Now, like I said, I think Sinners can take some of these technical awards because I that's kind of where I see them rewarding the film. But if it does snag any like actor or any other like cinematography technical awards and stuff like that, that would be great too. But I do see potentially Sinners could take this Frankenstein as well, because obviously the makeup and hairstyling and that was crazy, and also the Smashing Machine, because they did transform The Rock into the character that he was playing. And he did look like The Rock, but it's still, they put a lot of prosthetics and makeup onto him, so I'm pretty sure that would be a favorite as well. We go to original score next. We have Begonia. I still have to watch that. Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Sinners. Now, I haven't seen some of these other ones, but Sinners, come on, I might be a little biased, but that score, I still listen to it, right? Like that score, it's by Ludwig Göransson. If you don't know what he's done, he's did the 2 Black Panther scores, so he's already worked with Ryan Coogler a lot. He's worked with Christopher Nolan, my favorite director. He did the score for Tenet, the score for Oppenheimer. Like, this guy's a heavy hitter, man. So, I think he might actually collect this as well. I don't think this would be his first Oscar, and definitely not his first nomination, but I think he did win for Tenet and Oppenheimer, if I'm not mistaken. So he could collect another one here. Now we have the nominees for casting. I didn't know they had a casting award. This must be new. But Sinners is nominated, so we're not going to be too mad about that. We also do have The Secret Agent, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, right, which is a heavy hitter this year, and then Hamnet, which I still have to watch that too. The Secret Agent is starring Wagner Moore. And if you don't know who he is, he's a South American actor, but he also played Pablo Escobar on Narcos. That's where I first saw him. He killed that role. Like I remember Narcos the first 2 seasons, crazy, man. That was really good Netflix TV. Like when Netflix really first started putting in work into their original content. But yeah, he really killed that role. He also was in Civil War. I forgot the name of his character, like the Civil War film that came out a couple years ago. And he played one of the photographers, but I don't remember his name. He did a good performance in that as well. So, who knows? I guess casting really comes down to the elite cast that you have, and then the casting process itself, and who had more of a superior cast altogether, and the process too. So I guess we'll see with that. My favorite would be Sinners, of course. My favorite is going to be Sinners for all of these. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm just not going to sugarcoat it, to be honest. After that, we got original screenplay. We have Sinners, Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, It Was Just an Accident, and Blue Moon. Now, I'm going to watch Marty Supreme very soon, but this is probably going to be between Sinners and Marty Supreme. Probably Sinners, because, Marty Supreme, it will probably win in other categories. And just the concept of Sinners, we've seen vampires done before, kind of not like that, though. We haven't really seen, like, a hive mind vampire film, especially with Black people, centered around the ancestry, and the struggle that they went through, and the hard times, and the music that they created from it. Like, we haven't really seen that, so it's like that probably would be given to him. I think that's the same award that they gave to Jordan Peele for Get Out, right? Because Get Out was another original idea that's like, okay, there could be other good films in this category, but I mean, Get Out was just like something we haven't seen before, so it makes sense. So I think Sinners could get this one as well. Now we go on to costume design. We have Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sinners. This is a little more harder in terms of some of the other people that they're nominated against, or other films, I should say. With Frankenstein, obviously, costume design is going to be A1 in there. They put in a lot of work. Marty Supreme, I guess, because it's a period piece. It took place in the past, right? But if it's me, I'm going to say this is probably between Sinners, Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Frankenstein. And even then, like, Fire and Ash, they did put in work in the costumes and stuff like that. Of course, it's Avatar, but a lot of that was digitally made. So I don't think that would take away from their chances of winning. But comparing it to a Sinners, where it was all practical costume design, that might have the upper edge there. And same thing with Frankenstein, because I know they actually really did the prosthetics for Frankenstein, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm pretty sure that there were other I guess you could say in-depth costume designs that they did for Frankenstein too. So that'd be very interesting to see who takes that one. Then we have actor in a supporting role. Benicio del Toro from One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi from Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners. Let's go. Now, this is long overdue. I couldn't believe this is his first Oscar nomination, right? He should have really been nominated for Malcolm X, if we're being honest, right? Among other things, but hey, never too late, I guess. We have Sean Penn from One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård from Sentimental Value. Now, this is a tough stack list. I'm not gonna lie to you, because Benicio del Toro, he was actually hilarious in One Battle After Another. One of the few things that I really liked about that movie. Same thing with Sean Penn. I mean, his character is it's a disgusting character. Like it's pretty messed up, but he played that really well. And I wouldn't be too mad if he did win this award, because he did do a really good performance in it. Let's see. Your Bodman Pierce, what's good, bro? What's good? I hope you're doing good. Tiff, hey, what's up? What's up? Good morning. I hope you're staying warm. I hope it's not cold where you're at, because it's almost minus 30 here. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, Delroy Lindo, long overdue for his award. I would love for him to win this. Like, he killed it in Sinners, and he didn't have a lot of screen time, but he didn't need it. You know, with the limited amount of screen time he had, he did what he needed to do. So I really hope he does take that home. That would be amazing. But it is a stacked list. It's very stacked, right? We already have Sean Penn and Benicio as well as potential heavy hitters too. So don't count them out. Don't count them out. All right, now let's go to original song. We have "Dear Me" by Diane Warren for "Relentless." Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. I know that's pretty big. I Lied to You from Sinners. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde or Viva Verde. And Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Now, this K-pop Demon Hunters, that has been like the hype in terms of original song and stuff like that. And it's obviously K-pop. You can't really beat that right now. So, I wouldn't be surprised if that takes it home, because I think it took home the Golden Globe too. But I Lied to You from Sinners. I mean, I would love more awards for Sinners to win. I don't remember the exact song. I think that might be the song. I don't know if it's with Sammy or it was the song that Perlene was singing. It might be the song Sammy singing, because it's best original song, and that was kind of like the main theme of the movie itself. But I just don't remember the name of it itself. But I'd be happy. I'd be happy if it takes it home. But we got to watch out for K-pop, because it's already been snagging up awards, the award season. So we'll have to wait and see. Then we got film editing. F1, really good movie. Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, really good movie. I really liked it, so I wouldn't be mad about that. Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Now, I think Sinners and One Battle After Another, like, the editing was good. Like, I think in terms of the accomplishment itself, both of those films, you could argue, deserve it. But I'd be lying if I said there was any crazy, I'm just saying off the top of my head, crazy distinctive editing cues made in Sinners or One Battle After Another. I could be wrong, though. I could be not remembering, you know what I mean? The sequences themselves and how they were put together were really well, especially specific parts of the film. But if I'm going to be honest, I think F1 might have to take this, because not only was it shot in a like, I guess you could say, a more unique way. They mounted the cameras on the cars, they shot it in a very cinematic aspect, and it was like you were right there. But editing that and putting that together is not easy either, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be mad if F1 took it, because I really enjoyed that film. But Sinners, One Battle After Another, they did have good sequences that were put together as well. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So let's see what we got next. Nominees for sound, and then we have nominees for production design. Sinners is doing crazy, man. This is wicked. Hey, man. Hey, Flex, what's good? Just here to support my guy before I take my sick ass to bed. Get the likes up in here. I appreciate it, broski. I appreciate it, bro. Hope you feel better, man. It is not nice outside. It's actually crazy, bro. Like, outside, they're saying tomorrow's gonna be what was it? They said, I think minus 50 plus. It's gonna be the coldest place on earth in the province that I'm located in. Just take that in. If you're from another part of the world watching right now, it will be the coldest place on earth tomorrow in Ontario. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I hope you guys, if you're in a warm, state or province or country, I hope you're enjoying it, man. I really do. Right. So I hope you feel better, bro. Drink some, green tea, you know what I'm saying? Some honey and lime, you know what I mean? The remedies, that'll deal with you. Okay, so Oscars for best sound. We have F1, we have Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Sirat. I think that's how you say it. I might be saying it wrong, probably. Best sound design. F1, you could take it because the sound design of the racing itself, insane. And I watched it in IMAX, insane. So, you know, if they do bring F1 back in theaters, go watch it. Or if you haven't watched it already, go watch it. It's really good. But One Battle After Another didn't to me have any really crazy distinctive sound design, but of course they're gonna nominate it, right? Sinners sound design now we're talking. To me, this is going to be between Sinners and F1, but for all I know, Frankenstein might have some insane sound design that I didn't even see. So you know what I mean? It could go up either way. Let's see. Frankenstein. So best production design. Okay, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Now, Sinners is gonna have to take this one if I'm being serious. Like Marty Supreme, period piece, it's in the past. Okay. One Battle After Another was in the present. I don't think there was any crazy distinctive set design behind it, but you never know with the Academy. But Sinners, the locations, right? The production itself to make these locations and sell them, and the distinctive nature of where they took place. Come on, man. That one's easy to me. Like I said, I think Sinners can take all the technical awards, but some of them might have to balance it out, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Okay, now we go to sound and visual effects. Now, F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Sirat. Same thing as I said for sound design. I would say F1, Sinners. You could argue One Battle After Another as well, but I think it's going to be between F1 and Sinners. Let's see. Let me just check the comments real quick. Hope you get better for my birthday tomorrow. Oh, Tiff, it's your birthday tomorrow. Happy early birthday. God bless. And I hope you enjoy it and stay warm, please. What's good? What's good? I hope you're doing good, bro. Cutwater's on me, Tiff. Cutwater's is crazy. It's early, man. It's 10:43 over here. It's too early for that. Okay. So now we have sound design. Like I said, yeah, I already talked about that. Visual effects, yes. So Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. Now, I actually watched The Lost Bus at TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival. It was really good. Really good. Matthew McConaughey, he was a star, and it's a true story about the California fires. I think there was like this insane fire that they had in like 2018 in Paradise, California, and it like destroyed the whole valley. But like this one bus driver, he was a school bus driver. He literally had a bus filled with like kindergarten kids, and he had to like escape the fire with the teacher, just them two on their own in this insane firestorm. And it's a true story. Crazy movie though, and the visuals were really good. So I wouldn't be mad if it took it, but we can't ignore the visuals in Sinners. Or obviously Avatar. Let's be honest. Avatar probably will take this because I mean it's looking very scary how real Avatar is getting. AI is a whole nother thing, but they are doing this no AI visual effects, actual legit CGI detail. It looks beautiful. So I wouldn't be surprised if Avatar takes it there. Right. Let's see. We have snow this weekend in the Midwest. Oh Lord, good luck. We've been getting snow. Like we've had snow for the last, I say, 3 weeks straight. It's just been snow, or a little bit of rain. You guys ever heard of a winter thunderstorm? Because we've been getting those. There has been snowstorms with thunder and lightning here. I've never seen that in my 27 years thus far of life. I have never seen a winter thunderstorm. This is some new like machine weather type shit because I don't know. I didn't know that was possible, that there could be a winter thunderstorm. So, yeah, we got more snow coming, like 20, 30 centimeters. And like I said, the coldest place in the world will be the province that I'm in. Flex 2, if you're still in here, right? Our province will be the coldest place in the world come tomorrow. That's not right. This shouldn't be a normal thing. They're just saying it like, yeah, it's going to be minus 50. It'll feel like minus 50. I said, what? What? Y'all stay warm, man. Please. It's crazy out here. Okay, nominees for cinematography. We have Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Now, cinematography-wise, One Battle After Another could get it because they did have a lot of unique angles, one takes, follow-through shots where it's just one person and they don't cut the angle for about 10, 15 minutes. But there was a chase scene in One Battle After Another at the end that was crazy. That was probably my favorite part of the movie. How they shot it, that alone could warrant the win for best cinematography. Of course, Sinners as well, right? We've seen it's because he shot on IMAX film. I think so did One Bad After Another as well, but that is gonna add to the flavor of it. It looked beautiful. Like I even got a, I don't even know where it is. I got a Sinners film strip from the premiere itself. Oh man, like that was amazing. We got a poster too. The experience of how the film was shot, I think it helps it in its favor of possibly getting this award. We'll have to wait and see, right? But like if I were to say like the whole film, same thing with One Battle After Another, there wasn't any insane, distinctive, long cinematic like shots that stand out to me outside of a few, right? So I think it's pretty even, right? And for all we know, I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet, but for all we know, Marty Supreme or Frankenstein can have some insane cinematography too. So we'll have to wait and see. Train Dreams as well. I haven't heard of this director, so I'm not too sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me see what our comments here. Snow with Thunder and Lightning is crazy. Never heard of that. Wow. I'm telling you, this shit is crazy. I've seen it happen for the last couple years now over here. I didn't think that was possible. It's actually a real winter storm, right? There was a snowstorm we had. What was it about? Maybe no, not recently. It was about last winter. Last winter. This is the one that I really remember, and it was snowing like crazy, right? But then I'm seeing flashing light through my window. I'm like, what the frick is flashing? Whose car is that? I go outside. There's no car, right? I look in the sky. I see flashing coming from the sky through the snow. I'm like, is that what is that? A plane? Like what could that be? Then I heard a boom. I'm like, there's no way. It wasn't even like it was raining a little bit of snow or the rain was turning to snow or something. It was full on snowing and there was thunder and lightning. This is some new shit because this didn't exist before. I didn't see this as a kid. Never. So, something else we got to worry about. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, actor in a leading role. Here we go. Timothée Chalamet, right, for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. That is a disgustingly stacked list. That is a disgustingly stacked list. It's not even funny. I don't even know where this is going to go. I would love for Michael B. Jordan to take it. He hasn't been as successful in the Sinners Best Actor category because of how stacked this list is, right? But I would love for him to take it just because him getting, I don't know if this is his first nomination. It might be. And if it is, that's amazing for him. But I think he played two characters. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, it doesn't matter how many characters you play. Yeah, it doesn't. But he played two or technically three distinctive characters at a high level. That's not something that you could just say, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. No, not everybody's able to do that or do it convincingly. And he did. We actually thought Smoke and Stack were two completely different people, despite it being Michael B. Jordan, right? So I'm sorry, I got to give him his praise for that there too. But I got one of my favorite actors of all time, right? Denzel and Leonardo DiCaprio are my two favorite actors. I got Leo in here for One Battle After Another, which, to be honest with you, there are so many other movies that Leo should have been awarded for, or even just won, to be honest. Leo did an amazing performance in this film, but it's nothing crazy. Like, to be honest, it's nothing crazy. I understand the nomination though, but he's done way more crazier acting, films than this. Like, let's be honest. So, to be honest, it might go to Timothée Chalamet just because he's already been so successful with the awards campaign for Marty Supreme, right? Ethan Hawke, you can't sleep on him either. And you can't sleep on Wagner Moura either because The Secret Agent is getting a lot of praise. And like I said, he played Pablo Escobar and did that convincingly. He's a very good actor. So this is a stacked list. This could go anywhere. And I'm not going to be surprised if I'm wrong about this. I say I want it to be Michael B. Jordan. It's probably going to go Timothée Chalamet, but it could go either way. And that's where it gets dangerous. It could go either way. So we shall see with that one. Let me read your comments here. Pierce, it snowed for a week straight so much that I passed out shoveling. Bro, I have an injury in my arm right now because of how much snow we had. We had 20 centimeters. That's probably what you're talking about, that last snowfall we had. We got 20 centimeters straight of snow. It was so high that we actually had to shovel it, or not we, because I was the only one that shoveled it. It took me 2.5 hours, and we had to shovel it in layers. That's how deep it is. You guys go shovel one time, right? Or if anything, No. I had to go one scoop, 1 scoop, and then that layer was done. I had to go back that 2 scoop, 3 levels of shoveling. My wrist is mosh up because of that. So I understand, bro. He's not exaggerating. Like, they already told me. I went to the walking clinic for my hand or whatever, right? I'm gonna get a little x-ray done. They were like, yo, a lot of people came in with injuries from shoveling. I was like, damn, I've never seen this before. I pray it doesn't get worse. I already know the cold's getting worse, but I pray that like actual snow, because that's what makes it worse. And to be honest, outside of shoveling it, I'd rather snow than it being really cold. The cold makes it unbearable, but there's days where it snows and it's not super cold, and that's fine, right? And it's soft or whatever, you shovel it quick. That's calm. I love that. But when it's super cold, hell no. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. Pastel shoveling is crazy. This is no joke. It's serious out here. They're giving us the super delta mega snow for Canada. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Why are they gonna make us the coldest place in the world? You guys are doing too much. You're doing too much, man. There's no need. All right. So for nominees for best directing, we have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Josh Safdie, the Safdie brothers, One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson, Sentimental Value, Joachim Trier, I think that's how you probably say his name, and then Sinners, Ryan Coogler. Long story short, who I want to win this, Ryan Coogler. This isn't going to be his last nominated Oscar film, though. I know that for a fact. And if anything, if he doesn't win here, he's going to win down the line, probably very soon. But there's this thing, I guess you could call it, film Twitter calls it, is a legacy award, right? And it's essentially when, like, if you guys remember, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's been nominated for so many movies and he's never won until he won for The Revenant in 2016. Could you believe that? Leonardo DiCaprio. The same thing with Denzel too. I think Denzel only has 2 Oscars. Look how many amazing films these guys have been in, right? And they've been nominated tons of times and they don't win, right? So they coined this term called the Legacy Award, where it's like, if you've lost and historically have lost many times before, we're just gonna give this award to you because we feel like you finally deserve it, even though what you put out may not be as better as compared to the other films or whatever. If we're gonna go with music, think of this Kendrick like this, like, I think To Pimp a Butterfly, him getting the Grammy and sweeping, it's too early for this example because it's not really a legacy award for him because he did get robbed for Good Kid, Mad City. But let's just say Kendrick never won Best Hip Hop or any serious Grammys for Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, Mr. Morale. Let's say he won nothing for any of those albums. But let's say he put out GNX, right? And let's say he's going up against another heavy hitter album. I don't know. Let's just say in this term, I think GNX is winning album of the year, right? But let's just say in this terms, Let God Sort Him Out was higher received, right? At a higher level and was like equally there, right? You could even say, maybe let's just say it's better in that example. They would give it to Kendrick, right? Because he's been snubbed notoriously before, right? And obviously it's kind of a bad example because GNX is the superior, it's the best album, right? But maybe it works better with Pusha T. Let's say they nominated Pusha T all those years, right? And they never gave him anything. But then now they give him the award for Let God Sort Him Out because he's been in the industry so long and he's put out really good work. That's a legacy award. I don't always agree with that because Paul Thomas Anderson has done better films, in my opinion, and has made more of an impact in the past with his films. I don't really resonate with this one. I think he's a really good director, but this film, to me, I'm like, come on, you're gonna give it to him for this? Like, it's just it's proof that the Academy and all these award shows, they're just so biased, but at the same time, they're also just all over the place with who they nominated, the politics and all. It's just a bunch of foolishness, right? So they're saying Paul Thomas Anderson will probably get it. If that happens, okay, sure, right? I know Chloe Zhao, she won for Hamnet at the Golden Globes, so there's a chance she might get it. They could give it to Ryan Coogler, but I just think because of the politics of this year and a lot of the stuff going around with the movie talk, I don't know, man. I really hope he does win, but you know how these award shows are, right? So, and then we got Best Picture. We got Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Sinners will probably take this, right? If they don't give Best Director or Best Actor to Michael B. Jordan, I think they'll probably get Best Film because Best Picture. Paul Thomas Anderson will probably take home Best Director, and then Timothy Chalamet will probably take home Best Actor. So if they're gonna rob Sinners in those categories, I think they'll give them best film. And to be honest, out of all these films, I like a lot of them on here, or the ones that I've seen, I should say. But no film on this list had that universal reaction, in my opinion. Some of them even made more money, like F1, but no film on this list had that weight of the cultural sensation that was Sinners. So I think Sinners deserves this award. I think it will get it. I hope so. Because of my driveway, it took me 4 hours. Yeah, Pierce, you have a long driveway, bro. So I could already imagine, like, his driveway, bloop, like it's one of those long ones. So I'd hate that, bro. I'd hate that shit. Pass out shoveling is beyond crazy. That I know. I know. I almost did too. I had to stop and like put the shovel and rest for like 5 minutes. Like, think of a beach. Think about a beach. Think about a beach. That's like literally what it was, bro. Your chest is pumping out of your like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's no exaggeration. It's no exaggeration. It's bad out here, man. It's dangerous out here. If I'm not going anywhere, I'm not shoveling anything. You know what? I honestly wish I could get away with that. I honestly wish he could get away with that. And so he didn't win for the Titanic. No, he never won for the Titanic. Leo has, and Denzel, there's a lot of actors and directors have been snubbed, but Leo and Denzel have been snubbed many times. And it's nothing to disregard the people who have won the years that they have lost. But like these are generational actors, and to be honest, Leo and Denzel Washington to me are like the last real movie stars, right? Timothy Chalamet, he's kind of bringing that back, but he's like the only one, right, from the young class that actually is moving like a movie star. But the age of like movie stars is done, right? Like Leo and Denzel are like once in a dying breed. And to be honest, Denzel has been snubbed so many. He never won for Malcolm X, but they're gonna give it to him for Training Day. Right? You see what I'm saying? I love Training Day. Right? But it's just like just like Leo. He didn't win for Titanic. He won for The Revenant. He killed The Revenant. That was a really wicked movie, really good movie. He barely even spoke in the movie though. His performances obviously what sold it, but Titanic, there's The Departed, there's what's that movie? Not Once Upon a Time. What's the one with what's his name? Tom Hanks. Catch Me If You Can. There's Catch Me If You Can. Come on, man. Like Wolf of Wall Street. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking about? Denzel had Man on Fire. Denzel had Inside Man. Like, there's so many films. Book of Eli. I actually really like Book of Eli. Safe House, right? Or Fences. He didn't even win for Fences. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you can name so many, and they've been snubbed many times. So it does suck, you know, in the politics behind it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Until we create our own institutions, we're gonna have to use these to our advantage, right? So it is what it is. But let's move on, shall we? Hey Corey, what's good? What's good? Good morning. Good morning to you. I hope you're staying warm because it is not warm over here. But let's move on to our next topic briefly. Is about the fall off. Now, I mentioned this back in my fall off live stream with J. Cole when we were reacting to the Diss 2 song. I had mentioned that Daylight has talked about the fall off, or he did talk about it from 2024, right after the battle. I remember Daylight went live and he said the fall off is like some of the greatest rapping I've ever heard in my life. Right. And now that clip is resurfacing of him talking about it. He said, I heard the fall off. It's one of the best levels of rapping I have ever witnessed. Right. Cole was like, I don't give a F about radio. I just want to show the world my pen before I go. Right. So I'm so curious to see, right, what we can expect on the fall off. Right. A lot of things people are talking about with this album. I do have some opinions on it and we'll share it momentarily. Thank you so much for discussing this. We're making history. I appreciate you supporting. And yes, it's amazing. I know I'm still kind of gun-ho about the Sinners thing because, like, 16 nominations is insane. I don't think you guys understand. The most nominated film ever in Oscar history only received 14 nominations. We have 2 more, right? Now, I said earlier, nominations to me aren't that important if they don't mean anything when it comes to actually winning. So I hope Sinners, it could get nominated for 16 and only win 2, right? And I don't like that. So we'll see when the day actually comes. I think Sinners can take home at least like 5, 5 to 6 potential awards that night, right? We'll have to wait and see because they got to split these things, but I'm excited nonetheless. What to expect on the fall off? Now, I know a lot of people are saying, they don't like hearing J. Cole talk about how he's the greatest. He can't say he's the greatest, this and that now because he ducked out the battle. I'm kind of halfway on that because everybody has free will, guys, right? And a rapper should be saying they're the greatest, right? So I'm not going to get too mad at Cole for saying those things, despite me saying, like, I don't want to hear him say it. He has full capability of doing it. He already did, and it most likely will be all over the album, right? But at the same time, it doesn't mean those words don't fall on hollow ears, if that makes sense, right? I think that's the right term. It doesn't mean that we have to actually take him serious. And the unfortunate truth for him is that a lot of people don't take what he's saying in that context serious now. And that's fine too, because I'm seeing people saying it shouldn't be the way. Well, yes, J. Cole can say that he's the greatest as much as he wants. But at the same time, we don't have to believe a word he's saying, right? We all have free will, right? So I'm not going to be too nitpicky about him saying that because, to be honest, I always thought, like, I don't want to hear him say those things now because of the way he acted after the battle. But he's going to. He's going to double down. All the noise he's been hearing, he will double down and do what we don't want him to do. And rightfully so, because he has free will. We can't control him. But the same way he has free will, so do we. We don't have to take what he's saying serious. And that's where he becomes it becomes a sticky situation for J. Cole. Because, like I said, going back to the battle, Kendrick didn't just want to come and beat the people he was going against. Your goal isn't to just beat your opponent. It is to put them in a lose-lose situation. And that's exactly what Kendrick did for Drake and J. Cole. No matter what they do, they will always be overly critiqued, overly analyzed, and people won't be taking their shit anymore going forward. That's exactly what Kendrick did, right? So these discussions around J. Cole, they've been around him for a while. This has been around him since probably the beginning of his career, but they weren't as loud. They weren't as vocal because I won't say we were fooled by it, but a lot of people took the humble personality that he had and him being a conscious rapper and say, yo, okay, any, things that we may have an issue with, they're not really there, right? Like, they don't really exist. J. Cole is a perfect guy. He's a humble guy. He rides his bike and he just raps. He doesn't care about doing all this and that. That's why we love him. I would appreciate that, but I'm not going to lie. I said it before. I'll say it again. I don't know if I fully believe this whole humble thing that he's been trying to paint for the last decade or so, right? He said that when he apologized that he was returning to a place where he was 10 years prior. 10 years prior would have been 2014, 13 times, Born Sinner times, the time that I actually really rocked with how J. Cole was moving. He claims, right, that he wasn't in the best space at those times and he didn't really like himself. That's him, right? And he has all the right to say that because that's how he feels himself. But I'm not going to lie. When J. Cole was more on that ignorant tip, when he was more on the I don't give a fuck, I'm going to say what I need to say. And you can't really come step to me. I'll drop the album same day as Kanye. I like that. I do. And I feel like that is who J. Cole really is. And the humble side of it, yes, that was, I guess you could say, a part of his nature too, a part of his personality for sure. But I feel like it was more of an image, right? And I also feel that the critiques that Kendrick gets about him being an activist or whatever, because he never called himself that, by the way, right? All these things, always social awareness, all this and that. Those are labels people put on him. But I feel like those critiques should have actually been put onto J. Cole more, right? And because J. Cole was more of the low-key, like I'm the third Muhammad Ali, but I'm like in bronze or whatever. I get bronze, this type of shit he be saying, right? People didn't really want to critique him on that level there, but they put it to Kendrick because he became the conscious rapper that went commercial. So I think J. Cole is in a lose-lose situation. I don't doubt that the rapping is going to sound really good on the album, basically from what we already heard. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is going to be good. And you guys can say, oh, he sounds the same. Some of the production sounds the same because I've heard that. And I do kind of agree. I'm not going to lie. But let's just compare this to like 90% of the rap game right now. Even if we don't like J. Cole anymore, you can at least say, okay, the rapping is good. Is he talking about anything? We'll have to wait and see. He's giving us a double diss. So I have to assume you're going to be talking about something, right? So we'll see. Let me read your comments. We expect for it to fall off. Oh, my days. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I guess that's the whole point, right? Like he's doing these concept albums where he actually follows up on the concept. So might delete later. He actually did delete the song, right? He did might delete it later. And then now the fall off, I guess that's the whole point. It's a shield, in my opinion, because if it does actually fall off, he could spin it like, oh, that was the whole point, right? So, like, if it does fall off, I guess that's what he's going for. That's very smart. Very smart. They can't really say, "Oh, you fell off in a genuine way now," because like, "Oh yeah, that was the whole purpose of my album," right? He's hiding behind the title theme and all of that. So hey, okay, that's pretty smart, forward thinking. It would be different if he hadn't been saying it for years and then he gets tested and fold. Yeah, ASAP Rocky just came out and said that like his beef with Drake is definitely about women. Obviously, we know that. That's not a shock, right? Obviously, ASAP Rocky had slept with Drake's baby mom, right? They had a threesome, right? And that's how Adonis came into the picture or whatever. It was during that whole scenario. And then obviously ASAP now is with Rihanna. So it's clear that their issues were about women. That's like been known. But ASAP said that, that's what the tension is between the two. And I just don't rock with him, right? And then the whole battle, the disses that he said to him were soft. And that was it. ASAP wasn't tripping, right? So this idea that all these people making excuses for J. Cole, oh, he bowed out because he was told to. It's funny. We've been running with that story, but that still hasn't been confirmed. That hasn't actually been confirmed. Everybody's been running with that, but we don't know if that was the case, right? And even if that was, J. Cole himself came out and said, there were people getting in my head. Big up 40-year-old man, by the way, right? People were getting in my head saying, what are you going to do? This and that. What are you going to do? This and that. That is how you play chess. Because I believe Kendrick already knew, obviously, how Drake felt about him and his music, right? And jealousy. But I think Kendrick obviously knew how J. Cole felt about it too, based on probably previous interactions in the past or kind of how their careers have separated over the last few years. Kendrick knew, he said, I'm going to diss these guys and make them reveal their hand. And that's exactly what J. Cole did with 7 Minute Drill. He revealed how he always felt about Kendrick. To Pimp a Butterfly, not that sick. You know what I mean? The second one's a classic, but it put people to sleep or whatever. That's what he said, right? Or the last one was tragic, right? He's talking about Mr. Morale, which is insane. I'm like, you got to beat. I mean, let's be honest. You have more albums in your discography that people would fall asleep to. So, it was kind of crazy because if you're saying these things about Kendrick, you got to have a near perfect discography just like him. But you don't. You have one classic. If you're lucky, it's one classic, right? I would argue that Born Sinner is also not okay. I won't say it's a classic, but to me, it went platinum in my earphones back in the day. I was bumping the hell out of Born Sinner. So, you don't have the pitch perfect discography to even say these things, but you revealed how you feel. And that's all you needed to do. And I think J. Cole realized that, right? Drake didn't care because he's like, I'm the petty king, right? He doesn't care. But J. Cole realized that and said, yo, damn it. He made me reveal, I got to apologize now because this is about to be crazy smoke. And that's what he did. Had 7 Minute Drill been successful and people really liked it and it went #1, do you think J. Cole would have deleted that song? No. So that's the whole point of this integrity thing that we're talking about. This, you're pretending to be humble because now, given your actions, I can't really believe this. So to me, what I don't want to hear on the fall off is you're above the battle. Right? I don't want to hear on the fall off that you could have beaten Drake or Kendrick, right? Because you didn't prove it. I don't care how you try to spin it, right? I don't want to hear that people are botting music, blah, 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 this and that, right? When we know the person that you went on tour with, right? Well, I should say allegedly, right? But he has lawsuits against him botting music and doing other fraudulent things as we speak. So I don't want to hear you spin that in a way where it could be both of them or it was potentially how Kendrick beat Drake. I don't want to hear a word of that, right? Anything you said on Port Antonio, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it, right? And I feel like he's going to allude to these things. But I'll tell you what I do want to hear. I want to hear you talk about Drake suing hip-hop. I want to hear you talk about that Not Like Us lawsuit. I want to hear you speak about what is going on currently in the hip-hop industry and how you yourself weren't able to speak up about these things because you were benefiting from working with these rappers. The same rappers that you went on to diss, which were like mumble rappers, nobody that anyone takes seriously. You then go and do tracks with them, work with them, this and that, blah, 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 co-sign their foolishness. Then you go work with Drake, right? Knowing how his music is moved, how it's pushed, and he's the golden child for the UMG people, right? And you act like a blind fool like everyone else and don't say a word. But then as soon as Kendrick comes out here, you want to come and say, if he wasn't dissing, we wouldn't be discussing him. Were we discussing your 2021 album after Mr. Morale came out the following year and became the highest streamed hip hop album that year? No, we were not. And I love the off season. I really do like that album. But it came and went in terms of people listening to it and talking about it. Mr. Morale is still talked about to this day, right? This is why he has to go drop a double disc now. You see what I'm saying? So I think how he's going to word this, I really hope he doesn't word it in the way that he did Port Antonio. I really don't, because I can't stand that song. Sad that he used that beat, but I can't stand that song. And then J. Cole just strikes me as that guy, you know, that guy to do the in-between, I'm above the battle, blah, 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 foolishness. He just strikes me as that guy, and I hope he doesn't continue that. Right. Right. And if he continues talking like that way, he loses all credibility. Yeah. I mean, I kind of expect him to. The drill wasn't even 7 minutes. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't like a 3-minute song or something like that. But he wrote it in 7 minutes. Okay, I mean, there's not anything too crazy in there, so we could tell. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if Cake Stick was keen to Cole subbing him over the years. Cake Stick? Am I slow? You might have to let me know about that one. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is my second favorite Kendrick album. IDGAD, what no one else is talking about. I don't give a damn what no one else is talking about. Sorry, I'm still learning these acronyms. L take, holy shit. No, you're a walking L. Don't ever say my take is an L, bro. I'm speaking facts. Off season was talked about, but was it talked about after it came out? No, it was not. It came out during COVID, bro. Right? No one was talking about that album a few months after the album came out, if anything. So maybe in your little community it did, right? But I didn't see anyone talk about the off season, right? Did it go into 2022? No, it did not. And what song was the main song off the off season? What was the single? What was the song that pushed it and people resonated with, right? Because J. Cole had Middle Child and all those other songs beforehand, right? So I'm not counting that. Because I think he put Middle Child on there, if I'm not mistaken. I like that. I like that album, but I'm not telling you, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, people were discussing the off season en masse. They were not. So don't come here and tell me it's an L take. You are the L if you can't actually be honest with yourself. Sorry about L take. You guys are crazy. Don't come here with the disrespect like that. Come here and start. You know what? Come start your channel and discuss how the off season actually was talked about and show me the proof. I would love to see it. But yeah, I don't want to hear any of those types of conversations on the album. I don't want to hear that you're the best, blah, 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 this and that. But what I expect to hear, because I'm hearing that there is like not a Red Button song, but like a song where he's talking this shit. Do you guys remember that song, January 28th on Forest Hills Drive? January 28th. Hold on. I'm getting updates on the chat. Don't forget Grippy with Cash. Oh my gosh, it's actually crazy. No, for real, yo. Grippy was, I don't even know what he was trying to do with that. That shit is just sad. It's so sad. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick was aware of Cole subbing him all these years. He's been doing it for a long time. Oh, for sure. I think 100%. I think if we go back in their discographies, they were probably subbing each other a lot more than we realized. Like some of those subs for sure are to Drake, but some of them could have been to J. Cole. Probably a lot more than we realize now. Yeah, where are my mods? Saj is what's his name? Bodman Pierce still in here too? Yo, Pierce. Don't come in here saying the foolishness. I might have to make you guys a mod too, to be honest. Hold on, let me see if I can do it from my phone. I think I'd have to do it from my phone. Okay, so you don't want to work? Give me a second. I don't know why it's not pulling up. Don't know why it's not pulling up. I'm still waiting for him to respond. I actually want him to respond before I do the due diligence. Oh, okay. You timed them out. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let. Thank you. Thank you very much. L take, holy shit. You don't come in here and start that. Come and tell me why the take is an L, but you couldn't provide any proof because you don't have any. I'm telling you, the offseason wasn't discussed in mass after release, despite me liking that album. It wasn't. It wasn't. I remember when the off season came out because I had COVID, right, during that specific time, right? And COVID was going through it, at least over here, heavy in 2021. Maybe in America and different states, it was different at the time, right? But Canada, we had the longest lockdown, right? So in terms of what I was seeing online, more people were talking about COVID and vaccinations and all these other crazy things that were going on at that time, more than that album. Right. I think that Amiri song that might have been technically the single for the album. And I like that song, right? But again, during the time it came out, it might have been discussed. Did we discuss it 3 months after that, 6 months after that, 2022, and so on? No, we haven't. That's why you see people post the album saying this album went underrated or this album is underrated. People didn't appreciate the off season as much because people didn't. That's what I'm saying. So there was no crazy hype around the album back then. But if you're a cold drizzler, a cold I don't, you know what? No, let me stop. let me stop. I just got back. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Don't worry. Don't even stress. Okay, so let me see if I could do add as a moderator. Okay. Okay, Corey, I'm gonna make you a moderator. Tiff, I'm gonna make you a mod as well. Now, I don't know how that works on your end. I don't know if that's like updated on your account, but you guys should have that too because you guys pop in all the time. Not even just on the lives, you're also on the video. So I do appreciate the support. And yes, you guys can mod when people start acting up because they love to come here and act up, but we're gonna cuss them. We're gonna cuss them. Yeah, so okay, so what I was saying was, do you guys remember a song on the what was it? Forest Hills Drive called January 28th? J. Cole had said at the end of the song where he said, "You might be Drizzy Drake or Kendrick Lamar, but check the birth date, nigga. You're not the god." That's what I think he's gonna do with this song that is like not scathing, but he's calling people out or he's actually saying shit. He's just gonna name them, right? Because Kendrick and Drake haven't named each other really after the battle. And they don't need to, right? It's gonna be subliminals, but they haven't named each other on records since the battle. I don't know if J. Cole even did it on 7 Minute Drill. He just kept saying him or he, right? I don't know if he said Kendrick, right? Or K Dot or whatever. Like, I don't know if he ever fully said his name. He's gonna do something like that on this album. He's gonna say, they said I couldn't rap with Drake and Kenny, right? But I get my food at Benny's, right? But I'm still the greatest, right? And you're the latest. He's gonna say some shit like that. That's how he's gonna rhyme it. And that's how he'll probably get away with saying, oh, the song is hard because he named them. He said their names, right? But that to me isn't what we're talking about. And what could you really say now? What are you really going to say now? I'd rather him address his friendship with Drake, Drake suing, him being buddy and ignoring all of that. That's the part that I don't like about J. Cole because you are an intelligent guy. You're not like a Drake, right? Where Drake's intelligence reigns supreme in being petty and nasty and just sneaky, right? He can be conniving in that way. But in terms of actual intelligence, social awareness, consciousness, I believe that J. Cole has that basic awareness. Why were you being blind to everything that was going on? Because you benefited it? Because you got a #1 song, right? But then you're going to come on records and say, I'm Muhammad Ali, but I got bronze. I'm Muhammad Ali, but Drake and Kendrick, I'm chasing them. I'm Muhammad Ali, but like, I don't want to diss these guys because they're my friends. So you chose your friendship with Drake, like all these other rappers, over hip hop. Like I said, if you're friends with people in the industry and in hip hop specifically, and they don't understand the concept of going for each other's head to claim to be #1, then you shouldn't be in the industry. Point blank, period. You shouldn't be in the industry, right? And then you got Travis Scott coming out, and I like Travis Scott, at least some of his earlier, music, right? But you got Travis Scott coming out here, I'm neutral, this and that, beef and this and that. All the rappers that don't rap are gonna say that. And all the people that love Drake and want to benefit it from his UMG place holdings, they're gonna say that. And J. Cole unfortunately fell into that trap because I said on my previous live stream, Drake has the power of some type of God or energy or something because he's able to finesse everybody. I don't understand. That's the one thing I'll say about Drake. That owl, man, he has some type of ability to make people fall for his shenanigans every single time. It doesn't matter how wise they may be. Drake is able to get these people to act out of character. I never understood that, but that's his ability, right? So J. Cole is there for 2 years with Drake, knowing, right? Because mind you, J. Cole, was it Middle Child or the song where he was talking about A Lot with 21 Savage from 2017-18? He said, how many people faking their streams, getting their play from digital machines? Who do you think that was about? Like I said, we haven't called out Kendrick for botting music until he beat Drake. No one ever put that accusation on him beforehand. It was only until he beat Drake. But Drake was the one that always had botting allegations to the point where people were calling him out, including J. Cole. And as soon as J. Cole said that in the song, not even a few months later, Drake gives him that golden watch, the Millie or whatever. And then he put the 2 generations when he went on the song. He's like, Drake gave me a watch that came from or whatever the hell it was. And then they were riding together and they were smoking or whatever. They look high out their mind. I remember that. Right. So it was like Drake checked him. And for whatever reason, he was like, okay, yeah. And then a couple years later, they go on tour and do the first person shooter or whatever. So it's like, what the hell happened here? What the hell happened here? And that's my issue with him. I need you to address your friendship with Drake. And be honest. Be honest. I don't want to hear that they tried to make me go against my guy. I really do appreciate Kendrick, but I was torn with Drake. And I don't want them to make me go against my guy because I got something to make. I don't want to hear any of that from this man. I swear to you. And I fear that he is going to do that because it's like J. Cole just plays stupid sometimes. And you're not a dumb guy. And I don't understand why. Like, it just is mind-boggling to me, you know? Let me check these comments. I think it was the one with 21 Savage and Little Baby. You're talking about what was it? The Off Season? I don't even remember that song, but I remember them being on the album. I just don't remember the song. COVID hit us early 2020. Yeah, we had it from 2020, but you guys might have been freed like 2021 late or 2022. We had the longest lockdown in the world till 2022. For 2 years, we were locked down and had nothing. It sucked, man. There was a lot of shit going on at that time. Don't need no mod. Tiff don't need no mod. Ain't nobody scared of her. That's hilarious. Damn. You guys is dissing. Shut up quickie before I give you the boot. I mean, she got the power now. Right? So it's just like, hey, be careful. Right. You can't say you're number one from third position. J. Cole should have always, I don't care how nice he wants to be, he should have always claimed he was number one without saying, I'm bronze, I'm in third place. Kendrick and Drake are better than me. It don't matter how much they sell better than you. It don't matter how much Kendrick raps better than you. You should come out here and still say you're the best without trying to say, yeah, these guys are also equally. Stop, man. Just stop. And then you're going to spin it in a way that's like, they wanted me to go out of character. Beef leads to violence, this and that. You're just admitting that you're not capable of keeping it on wax yourself because you took offense to what Kendrick did. And that's why I said it was a chess move. He made them show their hands, how they truly feel. I think Kendrick already knew for sure how Drake felt about him. No doubt. Right? That's been in the air for a decade plus. But J. Cole, I believe they were cool in terms of like where we've seen them together up until 2017. The last time we saw them together was on stage at the Damn Tour. Kendrick brought J. Cole out. Right? That's the last time we saw him on stage. For all we know since then, up until 2024, they could have met in person somehow, right? But as far as we know, they haven't, right? So that's the last time that we've seen them together on stage. I think Kendrick already knew, or at least from there, because I remember J. Cole saying, Damn is what inspired KOD, right? He said while he was on the Damn tour, he got inspiration to make KOD, and he was just in awe how Kendrick was able to take conscious music and put it on that level. So he tried to do the same thing with KOD. I believe Kendrick peeped how he tried to kind of, in a sense, change his humble image. J. Cole tried to change his humble image into this old speaking on. He always spoke on like the real shit that was going on in the world, but he put an emphasis onto that on For Your Eyes Only, and that was post To Pimp a Butterfly. So a lot of people were saying you kind of definitely got inspiration, at least in terms of what Kendrick was doing from To Pimp a Butterfly for Your Eyes Only. So people are seeing, right, that he's getting inspiration from Kendrick. But Cole is the type of person he'd be able to admit that, and he has many times. But I think Kendrick also peeped that there was probably some animosity there, maybe a little bit of envy, or maybe some slight jealousy from him, right? And I think that's why Kendrick probably always maybe had a theory in his head that, yeah, Cole probably feels this way, but I don't really know for certain. And then he wouldn't really know for certain until he actually put it on wax and we see how Cole reacts. And that's what happened, because now you see Cole plays the in-between man like it's his second nature. And I said this so many times on my channel. I hate in-between people. I hate devil advocate people. I hate people who see something happen, or they see two people in a disagreement. One person causes the disruption or the issue. The other person reacts and they look at the situation and they say, you're both equally wrong. I will never believe that is right. Right? I would never believe that is right. Or they try to gaslight you into believing what they're saying because it benefits them, and they're trying to override how you feel, right? So he's going to be the guy that says, yo, let's go and get Kendrick on the song, whether it was him or Drake. I know the both of them went to him to come and do that song. Kendrick said no. J. Cole was probably the guy like, yo, but come on, bro. It's not even that serious no more. You guys don't have serious beef. We should be friends. We shouldn't be beefing anymore. There's no sense of us beefing. We should come together, right? Kendrick's like, nah, I'm not doing that. So then they're like, okay, he doesn't want to do a song with us. Nah. We got to sneak this, and we got to sneak this. And then that's how they did First Person Shooter. So they shouldn't have been surprised, right? And I'm sorry to my light-skinned folk, man, but this is some true light-skinned behavior right here, right? That you are out here moving like this, right? You know these mans have smoke and not hatred, but now they do. But before they had animosity. Don't come in here and try to belittle how I feel because you think it's more important for us to do this song together for his album. Like that's where J. Cole gets me sick. That's where I really get irritated with him. And I fear that he's going to do the same thing on his double album. There's no way he's going to drop 2 albums and not continue the same energy. So that's what I expect for the fall off. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's coming on there on aggressive tip. I hope he comes out there and clears the air about the battle and why. We obviously know why he did what he did. There's no taking that back. But you got to try and paint it in a way to help us understand a little bit more. And like I said, Kendrick put you in a lose-lose. So good luck to you, because I don't think it's possible. You could try to explain it the best way you can. Your super fan base, hardcore fans, they could try to cape for you all they want. But the general consensus is that you even got rappers in the industry saying, I can't look at you the same. So that's the lose-lose you're in. It's not as bad as Drake, but it's bad, right? Because you could argue that it's even worse because it don't matter how good J. Cole raps. That's still going to stick there. Whereas Drake, we don't expect him to rap really good, right? We already know that. But J. Cole can really rap. But it's like, damn, even that's not enough. That's what I say. You don't mess with Kendrick, man. Drake's still going on with his Not Like Us thing. Yes, we're about to get to that next, by the way. Jeremy Heck passing the crown is so good. He passed the crown? Who did he pass the crown to? Is that what Jeremy Heck said? My stomach is rumbling too. Lord have mercy. Did you see the appeal? Oh, you're talking to Tiff. Yeah, I'm about to cover it too. Cole, yes, Corey, yes, so stupid. It's very dumb. Cole really sit on the fence and feign ignorance. Pisses me off, man. I hate fence sitters. I hate devil advocators. I hate all of that, right? And I hate people who put the blame on everyone equally. Kendrick came out and dissed you guys. You guys responded in a whack way. Kendrick came out after you, J. Cole, said, I'm not rapping no more, I'm done, and destroyed Drake in the battle. And then you gonna put out a song 6 months later saying, I wouldn't have lost the battle, I would have lost my bro. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Those people at Dreamville do not like you if they're letting you put that out. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I never piece it up. That shit don't sit well with me. Yes, facts. Before I take him to church, I'm going to take him to hell with me. You don't mess with someone that says that. You don't mess with someone that says that, Fulio. So I don't feel bad. And now we're still dealing with the repercussions of what Kendrick did because Drake appeals dismissal of Not Like Us defamation case calls ruling dangerous. We're back here again. It's 2024 all over again. This ain't gonna stop. I'm telling you. And wasn't there like a 30-day window for the appeal? Wasn't it like you had to do it in 30 days or it's thrown out? So I don't know. This is like a 2-3 months later, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But let's get into this article here. Let me just take a sip of my beverage first. Oh, that's good. That is good. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. All right. Yeah. Hold on. Let me read your comment real quick. Jeremy Heck series is on Drake, Kendrick. Oh, he's doing a series on the three of them. Okay. I'll check that out. I'll definitely check that out. Shout out Jeremy Heck. He's Canadian too. All right. Yeah. So it says here Drake argues the lower court created an unprecedented rule that rap diss tracks can never be actionable. What are we talking about today, man? 3 months. Oh, so I was right. 3 months after a federal judge dismissed Drake's defamation lawsuit against Universal Music Group, the superstar rapper and his lawyers filed an opening appellate brief Wednesday that seeks to overturn the ruling and revive his bid for damages over Kendrick Lamar's Grammy-winning diss track, Not Like Us. Lord have mercy. In the new 60-page brief obtained by Rolling Stone, Drake argues that Lamar's track states as an ambiguous matter of fact that he is a certified PDF. Show me the part in the song where he says you for a fact are a certified PDF, or he said certified PDFs, plural. Right. He also claims that that's not better, by the way. Excuse me. Sorry. He also claims that Universal Music Group relentlessly marketed the song in a way that misled consumers. Sorry, guys. You know when you get like the hiccup coughs? Those are the worst. Hold on. Oh, Lord have mercy. You came at the worst time. I'm gonna take another sip. Give me a second, guys. If I want to, like, on stream. Lord have mercy. Okay, so he also claims UMG relentlessly marketed the song in a way that misled consumers and caused them serious harm. That's the part that I'm not understanding. And are you admitting to the fact that there is a psychological, I guess, warfare aspect of music streaming, that if we see more numbers, that means we automatically think the song is more popular and then we should play it? Doesn't that prove psychological manipulation? And doesn't that kind of prove that, or not prove, I should say, but it goes against your catalog too, right? What if they're pumping your numbers and push it to the highest playlist, which we already know, right? Then in turn, that's how more people come to bump her music. So if that is the case, then that applies to everything you've done and everything in the industry, which is why this lawsuit can't really go anywhere. Come on, right? So the brief contends that the allegations carry a precise and readily understood meaning that is capable of being proven true or false, a point the district court previously acknowledged. Acknowledged according to the filing. Drake also claims that the dismissal of his lawsuit could have far-reaching consequences. I mean, for him, and we don't care about that though. By ruling that the rap diss tracks are non-actionable opinion, the lower court created a dangerous categorical rule that would shield artists and labels from defamation liability, regardless of how direct or damaging a statement might be. He argues the court effectively created an unprecedented and overbroad categorical rule that statements in rap diss tracks can never constitute statements of fact. His brief claims. How do we feel about all of that? Because to me, at the end of the day, you engage in this battle willingly, no matter what. You said things that were bad and scathing about your opponent. So I don't think, even if a judge says, I kind of see how damaging this would be in your case, you did the same thing. It will always come back to that, like how the previous lawsuit went, right? The previous appeal, this is how it went. And this is what the judge said themselves. You willingly engaged, and you said some pretty damning things yourself. And Kendrick isn't suing. He moved on. Seems like everybody moved on but Drake. It's crazy. Drake previously filed his notice of appeal on November 12th in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit in Manhattan, signaling he would challenge the October 9th decision by U.S. District Court Judge Jeanette A. Vargas. In her ruling, Judge Vargas concluded that Lamar's lyrics accusing Drake of pedophilia were a non-actionable opinion rather than statements of fact. This guy is suing because of Meet the Grams. It's not because of Not Like Us. There's no way. The issue is this case is whether Not Like Us can reasonably be understood to convey as a factual matter that Drake is a PDF file or that he has engaged in sexual relations with. Judge Vargas wrote, and that's what she wrote. In light of the overall context in which the statements in the recording were made, the court holds that it cannot my bad. The court holds that it cannot. Okay, then the sentence is done. She said that the broader context of the song was a heated rap battle with incendiary languages and offensive accusations hurled by both participants, adding that it would not incline the reasonable listener to believe that Not Like Us imparts verifiable facts. But in Wednesday's filing, Drake says that the song's repeated references to pedophilia, combined with its ambiguous cover art and subsequently released viral video, plausibly convey a false statement of fact that should be decided by a jury. Drake's appeals asked the court to send the case back, insisting that his claim is that he was defamed by Not Like Us is a question to be decided at trial, not in a motion to dismiss. You'd be lucky if this gets to trial, man. You'd be so lucky if it does. And if it does, you don't want it to. You don't want it to. Now you're going to be open for discovery and all of that, bro. Like I said, or like Kendrick said, I should say, the people in your circle do not like you because who's advising you? Who advised him to say that stuff about slavery? Like who actually listened? Was it Chubbs? Who listened to that and say, yo, yeah, make fun of slavery as if you're not half black. That sounds right. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. But then they'll say I'm a hater. Oh, I don't like people who guzzle this guy's OVO like spit from Toronto. I can't stand it. People in general, like the Drake fans in America are just as bad, but the ones in Toronto are like horrible because they're the reason why we're held back so much. That's why I will forever be against them. And yeah, I may dislike the things that Drake does, but I just hate his fan base more, 10 times more than him himself. I don't dislike Drake. I dislike what he does. I dislike the music that he makes now, right? But I don't dislike him himself, unless these things are true, which, you know, that's a whole nother discussion because you can argue that some of these things are true. But like I said, that's another discussion, right? But yeah, UMG responded with a scathing motion to dismiss that ultimately prevailed. Plaintiff, one of the most successful recording artists of all time, lost a rap battle that he provoked and in which he willingly participated. Boom. Right? Lawyers for UMG wrote, instead of accepting the loss like the unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, oh my days, right? He has sued his own record label in a misguided attempt to salvage his own wounds. I forgot they said all of this. Damn. A spokesman for UMG did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Drake's opening appellate brief. Sorry. UMG's response brief is due March 27th. The 9-track rap battle at the center of the legal war started making headlines in April 2024, exploded when Drake released Family Matters on May 3rd. Exploded? Okay, let's relax. It's Euphoria that really, first of all, it was like that really changed everything. So I don't know what they're talking about, but then it was Euphoria. Family Matters didn't explode nothing. You know the little bomb from Looney Tunes? Hold on. Hold on. Oh, you remember this? Hold on, I gotta find it. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Here it is.
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the only bomb that this man put up was the damn shit from Looney Tunes. It was a stinker. Or you know what? It was one of those Joker bombs where it's like you click the bomb to blow up and then a flag comes out and it says hi or whatever. Like freaking confetti. Like there was no bomb, bro. What are we talking about? Right? released the song. The song insinuated that Lamar had cheated on his fiance and was physically violent with her. Lamar responded with the back-to-back drops of Meet the Grams and Not Like Us, with Ladder's hook of Certified Lover Boy, Certified PDF becoming an instant and viral sensation. That was crazy. Not Like Us went on to win Grammy Awards for Record and Song of the Year last February. Lamar also performed the song during last year's Super Bowl halftime show. All right, yeah. So that is essentially what's going on with Drake. He's trying to appeal again. I don't think this is going to end well. I don't think this is going to end well at all for him. I mean, he has a whole bunch of other lawsuits to worry about, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be more coming. Mark my words, probably by the end of the year, there's going to be a lot more lawsuits, right? And good luck for him trying to perform at the World Cup that his fan base was trying to kill. That's not happening either. You're not performing at the World Cup with active lawsuits, gambling lawsuits, and RICOs potentially. Like, that's not happening, right? So, good luck to him, right? The longer this takes, the longer the Iceman is going to take the drop, right? Because I don't know why you think filing appeal is the smart thing to do while you have this Iceman album on the way. And now you have a limit of when you're going to drop it, because it's like winter going to be done in a couple months. You're going to drop Iceman in the summer or in the spring? Very strange. Very strange. They are insufferable. They define insufferable. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I dislike them with a passion. I can't stand them. They're worse than him. And they give him a bad name. They make him look even worse than he already does. And they don't care. That's the part that sucks. They don't care, right? They're chronically online. They're doxing. They're doing all these things, right? And people are going to love their favorite artists and defend them. So the Kendrick fans will come and defend. Some of them may stoop to their level, which you can agree or not agree, right? That's a whole nother discussion. Right. But, now this is a cycle. There's a cycle of this back and forth. I want it to end. But to tell you the truth, even if every Kendrick fan stopped engaging with them, they won't stop. And that's why I say they are worse. And that's why I said they are the true definition of insufferable, true definition of lowest common denominator in every fabric of reality that you could think of. Because these people don't benefit society at all with every breath they take. They do not. They make society worse. They make people miserable. They make rap discourse miserable. And we can't even enjoy hip hop without these people talking about this guy's numbers that we now know are most likely being botted or pushed by UMG, which shouldn't be a surprise because he's had botting allegations from the start of streaming, which he was the golden child plastered on top to be the biggest or the stream king, right? So let's not do all of that, right? Nonetheless, I don't think this is going to end well. And watch, in a day or two, or maybe even today, you're going to see Not Like Us streams go back up again. Every time you try to sue, every time you try to file an appeal, it doesn't work in your favor. It doesn't, right? But he never stops. And the problem is he has people in his circle telling him what to do as if they actually care about his well-being, and they don't. Like Kendrick said, right? The people in your circle want to see you get taken out. They want to see you pretty much have a bad time. And that's what's happening, right? Like I said, there are so many things that you shouldn't have done, and this is one of them. You're still continuing to allow this battle to go into another year because of this lawsuit. You're not going to win. Even if you get to the courts, you are not going to win, because now they're going to have to provide evidence, which they claim they already have. But outside of that, the things that Drake allegedly does are all have been known or have said in the industry. And outside of that, they've been said in Toronto, in the city itself, by regular, everyday going people. So it's not like this proof doesn't exist. There's people out here willing to speak, right? And that's what you should be careful of, because now you're bringing these things up, right? I don't know why you thought this was smart, but whoever's in your circle advising you, fire them. Get them out of there, because they don't care about you. You should drop this Iceman album and pray it does good, right? And the problem is with the Iceman album is that he has too many fans that are going to create narratives and cape for what he's saying. And that's the problem, So even if Iceman does like 250 or 270K first week or something like that, they're going to, oh my God, there's no way for Drake to, like, he's lost in public opinion. He's lost in terms of cultural respect, right? But UMG will still push his music no matter what. So even if his first weeks are lower, even if his second weeks fall off or third weeks fall off or whatever it may be, his fan base will still find a way to try and spin that he won, right? Just like how they were saying, oh, Some Sexy Songs for You didn't sell XYZ amount because it's a R&B album. That shouldn't matter. You're the biggest artist in the world, they claim, right? So whatever type of album you make should always be selling high. And the fact that they use this, oh, it's a collab album, like that's somehow supposed to make it sell less, doesn't matter. It's Drake and Party Next Door. It's two people coming together. Now Drake is obviously way bigger than Party Next Door, but Party Next Door has fans, and the fact that they're making music together again should be enough for this album to do massively well. So what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? UMG will never stop pushing their golden child, but they will teach him a lesson. And that is exactly what's happening here. And remember, despite Drake and his ancestry and where he's from or what is a part of his ancestry, right? Obviously, there's one side that they would favor more. He's still a black man at the end of the day, and they're gonna make an example out of you. Right. He's never been told no. He's never gotten into a fight. He's never been told about himself or cussed, right, by an actual real black person that's going to keep it a buck with him. Not a white person, not a person that's like, just a yes man, a real black person of the culture, of all these cultures that he tries to mimic, whether it's African-American culture, right, or you want to come to actual Caribbean culture in Canada or whatever it may be. Like there's no person in his vicinity that has kept it a buck with him. So he doesn't know any of this. That's why he still thinks he can still win, because he's always gotten his way. That's not going to be the case this time. They're going to show you that don't matter. You're still a black man, right? And they're going to make an example out of you. So it's best that you stop. But him filing an appeal, that means more lawsuits are going to be coming on him very soon. So you guys stay tuned for that. It's sad, but you're going to have to learn the hard way. That's what happens when you raise entitled children. You create monsters, right? Because they think they deserve everything in the world. Drake lost all his cachet with this lawsuit. It's really sad. He's trying to rewrite hip-hop with this appeal. I agree with you 100%. It is horrible. That's why I'm not even going to react to Iceman. I'm not listening to it. I told you, if I were to do an Iceman reaction, most of you on my channel would have, like, maybe I'll vote when the album comes out, after it comes out, if there's anything on there. If you guys want to see me react to it, I will honestly do it. But I wasn't going to do an Iceman reaction for the simple fact that I would actually be forcing myself to listen to his music. I don't sit down and listen to Drake anymore. It's been 10 plus years since I've done that. I don't sit down and listen to Drake albums anymore. It's been 10 plus years since I've done that, right? So it would be actually a challenge for me to do that. I'd be doing it just for you guys, right? But I'm not covering that album. I don't care to listen to it for that same very reason. Maybe if you didn't sue and do all this petty stuff after the battle and took it like a man and you disappeared a little bit, came back with Iceman, maybe I would have listened, because then it would be like, all right, I'm curious to hear what you have to say after what happened. But no, you've continued to weaponize your fan base, the law, and all these things to work in your favor against the rules of hip hop and the culture. And that can't happen no more. We're not going to stand for that no more, right? And J. Cole, you're going to piss me off because I know you're going to keep quiet about all of that. I doubt that J. Cole's going to talk about any of this. And that's what also pisses me off about him. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I don't think this is going to end well for Drake. I honestly don't. It's sad, but at the end of the day, you got to learn the hard way. And this is him learning the hard way. So I'm pretty sure there'll be more lawsuits on his head top this year. I don't know why you'd want to continue this, especially after what you said about Lucian Grange and his son's wife. Like, you're bravery, man, bravery. But like I said, entitlement, that's really what it is. Drake is everything under the sun, but it's his entitlement that will be the end of his career. He just feels entitled to all of this. Like, he has to win. Like, you can't tell me no. I made all this money for you. There's no way you can tell me no. Well, guess what? They can. They run the music industry. And until you create your own industry, you can't do nothing about it. That's the unfortunate truth, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know. That's a no on Iceman for me. All right, thank you. I honestly would be forcing myself so hard to listen to that Iceman album. And I already know 18 tracks. It's going to be 18 tracks, and then there's going to be a Scary Hours Deluxe 7-hour double disc, or possibly after that, a week or 2-3 weeks after that, right? Because especially if the album underperforms, right, first week wise. And underperforming for Drake is getting lower than Kendrick. Underperforming for Drake right now, I promise you, is getting lower than GNX first week. And that's just first weeks, right? I think he'll probably drop the Scary Hours regardless, but how fast he drops the extended songs determines how well the first weeks and the album does upon release. But it's going to be 18 songs initially, Vibes Cartel, Central C, Future and Metro Boomin as a surprise, possibly, right? 21 Savage probably, maybe a Glorilla as well on the album. A couple other features, maybe like what's his name? The country singer guy that's big right now, Morgan Wallen, right? Maybe another Jack Harlow. So that's what we can expect on this album. I don't care to listen to any of that. I don't. I really don't. And to be honest with you, it's just like it's going to be the same thing. Him doubling down on what he knows we don't like to hear, and he's just going to continue to do it. Oh, he'll probably have Yeet on the album, maybe Lil Yachty. That's Iceman. Nothing special, nothing we haven't gotten before, right? Come back to this live when the actual album drops, and let's see how right I am, right? But I already can tell you that's what it's going to be. And he's gonna move like, oh, I don't want to be a rap battle. I'm trying to get a party lit, or whatever the dumb foolishness he said. He's gonna continue doing the same thing. And then J. Cole on the fall off, he's gonna continue doing the same thing, saying he's the best. He could have murdered them. He's gonna name drop Kendrick and J. Cole, or name drop Kendrick and Drake, and say, oh, but I'm still number one, but I named them, so I'm still the guy. And then he's gonna act extremely blind to everything that Drake has done regarding the lawsuit and him suing and all this and that. I know he's not going to say anything, and that's why I can't take that Fall Off album seriously when it drops. I need to hear you address what is going on, especially since it's still actively happening right now. But we know J. Cole, we know Drake, we know the two light-skinned queens and how they will react. I'm sorry, as skillful as J. Cole is, man, the mentality that you have and the personality that you've become in the last few years, it's very anti-hip-hop. Despite how well you rap, you are afraid to keep it a buck with your peers, and you fall into the same category that all the yes men that are around Drake have been falling into. You're just another yes man, right? That can rap really well. So good luck to both of those two. They're both in lose-lose situations, but you know who isn't in a lose-lose situation? Ryan Coogler, Sinners. I'm more excited about that, to be honest. So congratulations to Ryan Coogler and everyone in the film. I'm happy for them. I'm excited to see what these next few weeks hold, because we got the Oscars coming up. We have the Grammys coming up. It's going to be very interesting. We will be doing a Grammys live stream on February 1st, so stay tuned for that. We'll also be doing an Oscars live stream in March, so stay tuned for that. And J. Cole, when J. Cole drops, we will be doing a live stream to react to that, of course, because I do want to still hear it, right? So we will be there. I would like to thank every one of you for coming into this live stream, supporting, commenting, liking. I do appreciate it. I will have some content up probably maybe on the weekend, if not early next week. I'll probably do a couple more lives, if anything, because I'm just working on some other stuff right now outside of YouTube. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys coming into the live. Thank you so much. We shall see what the Fall Off and Iceman and how the Grammys and the Oscars go. These next few weeks should be interesting. We might get more songs. ASAP just dropped a couple more records. And we know the Fall Off is due in a couple weeks, so we shall see where we go from here. Thank you guys all again for coming into the live and supporting me this early. If anything else does happen, news-wise, hip-hop-wise, movie-wise, you'll hear it from me. We'll probably do another live in the next couple of days, so stay tuned. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Please subscribe, get those subs up, get the likes up. Appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Stay blessed, stay tuned, and please stay warm, because times are hard. They're really hard.